Welcome back to Supermoon Station. And today we have David Morrison as a British supermarket.
It is a British supermarket, you're right. Yeah, it is. Morrison's. More reasons to shop there. Yeah.
So we will be talking a lot about Near. We will be talking a lot about David and some fun stuff today. But David, my first question is, how did you get here? Because I know that flying is not the most exciting experience.
No, you mean how I physically got here or how I got here generally in my life?
Yeah.
Okay.
How you got here physically.
Okay, yeah.
Because I know that you don't like flying.
No, I took a fucking... Right, listen, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, you are.
Okay,
you
good,
are.
because I've just sworn. It's too late now. Listen, I took a fucking 10.5-hour flight from London to Austin, which is normally like... Right, fine, whatever. But I'm 6'4", maybe you can't see in the camera, and I'm also extremely overweight, thanks to all the beer that I drink and the food that I eat. So being in a little tiny economy seat for 10 hours is by itself not comfortable, but I have a crippling fear of flying, and about 5 hours in, it's actually difficult for me to talk about it, when they switch the fucking seatbelt signs on, and then the pilot goes, oh yeah, also... will the cabin crew sit down? And then you're like, fuck, I haven't had enough whiskeys to get through however long this turbulence is. So I thought I was going to die for 25 minutes. And I'm not a particularly religious person, but I was praying to all the gods just in case. You know, you gotta fucking, play the numbers like it's roulette.
As a Near god.
And the Near god, 100%. Ilya was the first person. I tried to call him, but I had no connection. But I made it, right? Which is the important thing. I'm still here. I'm still not dead, despite the amount of flights I've taken. So, hey, fucking right on. I'll drink
Probably
to that.
excited for a flight back, right?
Well, I'm trying to delay it as much as I possibly can.
But it's good to know that Near team also flies economy.
Damn right, we fly economy 100%.
If anyone was wondering if you're flying private or...
No, it's not a fucking holiday, man. Jeez, I wish it was. It's just... technically, and if anybody's out there who wants to vouch for me to my senior team, I should get some form of stipend for bigger seats, I believe. But then, I'm probably biased, so fuck it.
I also kind of feel that private jets are way smaller, so turbulence is feels way fast, bigger. Yeah. So I'm not sure even if it's a better solution.
No.
Maybe economy seat.
Yeah, even just premium economy. Listen, Ilya, I'll take premium economy. Anything that you can give me, please. But that's a conversation for another time.
So, David, let's talk a little bit about you and what brought you to a crypto space. Not physically, like physically too, partially, but why did you join? What inspired you to join crypto and Near?
Do you want the corporate version that I would say in an interview?
No, corporate. Real truth. It's only truth here.
Right. The year 2014. The location, Newcastle upon Tyne, in the northeast of England, where I was studying law, actually. And I was at a party, and I was having a good time, and I'd had a lot of beer and lots of other things. And someone came up to me and said, hey, you can buy fucking drugs online with Bitcoin, right? And I was like, no, you can't. That's not possible. What's Bitcoin? Anyway, it turns out you can, for reasons that I may or may not know. And I had a fun 12 months and then changed my degree to computer and digital forensics and sobered up a little bit, not entirely, but of all the, harder stuff. And then I studied that for 3 years. And in my final year, I did a forensic investigation into Bitcoin and Tor as my dissertation. It's 25,000 words of utter shite. It's the most boring thing you will ever read in your entire life. Don't ask me for it, 'cause I won't give you it unless you want reading material whilst you're beside a pool on a nice tropical holiday to fall asleep with. But I did that, and then I started working immediately in the industry whilst all my mates went off to get fucking bigger checks at better companies. And now I'm here, and I wouldn't change it.
And why Near? What happened with Near?
So I was just with a different company called Plutus, having a good time, and then somebody messaged me on LinkedIn, and I was like, hey, that's an attractive lady, maybe I'm in. Turns out it's a recruiter, right? I'd never had a recruiter message me before, and they said, hey, you want to go work for Near? And I said, what the fuck is Near? And then I found out what Near was, and I said no, because I got a job offer from MetaMask, And then Nia called me up after I'd done a few interviews with them, and they said, hey, listen, we need to tell you why you should pick Nia. And the interview I had, the final interview I had, you know when you have interviews with people and you can just tell like they're just chatting corporate bullshit and they're towing the line, they don't really believe the stuff that they're saying. Well, the lady who interviewed me, who was our former head of community, either she was an incredible actress or she actually believed the shit that was coming out of her mouth. So this idea of an open web, this idea of decentralization, this idea of coding away the middleman and giving power back to the individual like you and me and the wonderful cameraman here, that really scratched my itch, and it was very much aligned with the ethos that I had. So I was like, fuck it, let's do it. And that was like, what, nearly 2 years ago now, and one of the best decisions I've ever made.
And it's actually really, really funny because you were considering going to work for MetaMask,
Yeah.
and now just look at David. He's just covered with a near swag.
Can do this.
He's near. I heard like people were always calling you like a near Schiller, like a official like chief executive Schiller or something like that.
Well, they're not wrong, right?
Yeah.
Chief Vibe Officer, I'll take that. I'll take whatever. CMO soon. Not really, but we'll see. Yeah.
But when I see this energy, it always happens for a reason. Like
100%.
people are not gonna share so much passion about the project unless they truly believe in it.
Well, 100%. And I think, you can tell with the people who attend these Supermoon houses and who attend the hacker houses, people like you, Elena, and Cameron Dennis is another one to shout out, Marcus from the Near ecosystem. Like, there's some people that you speak to, not necessarily within the Near Foundation or within the Near ecosystem, but within the wider crypto ecosystem. It's like, fucking hell, like you can tell that you're just here for the paycheck, right? Which is fine. It's just fine. More power to you. If you can add value to a particular project and you just want to get the paycheck and go and live a wonderful life, more power to you. But the thing that really gets me going, the thing that gets my back up, is when I meet people like those at the Supermoon camp and those, a lot of which are in the Near Foundation and the Near ecosystem, who actually give a shit about the bigger picture. That's where it gets my toes curling, shall we say.
No, absolutely. And I like the efforts that Near Foundation also taking to give power to the community. So how actually Near Foundation is planning on decentralizing? How does it work? How now people can apply for support?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll just speak to the technical decentralization first. So very recently, we increased the number of validators on the network. I think we're somewhere around 215 now. I might be wrong. That might be dated. It might be more. But that's going to continue to grow. But I think what's a little bit more difficult than that, and where the Near Foundation is pushing a sort of novel solution to decentralization of funding and governance, is through the NDC. I can see that awesome t-shirt right there.
Yeah, and this is here.
It's beautiful. Let's pull it off. Let's get it down. 100%.
Some NDC swag.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, NDC stands for Near Digital Collective, and that is a group of incredibly smart, wonderful community members who are really taking the bull by the horn when it comes to decentralization. So they have just received an endowment of 5.7 million Near, if I got my numbers correct. I'm pretty confident that I did. And they are now decentralizing funding in the ecosystem through the form of three main DAOs. That is the Developer Governance DAO, which you may or may not be aware of, the Marketing DAO, and the Creatives DAO. Now, what I will say is that it's still super early stage for the NDC, right? And realistically, the way that they've gone about it, it's never been done before, right? This isn't just on-chain governance on fucking Snapshot where the guy with the biggest bag decides what happens. It's a lot more granular than that, and people tend to have a lot more of a say depending on how valued they are in the ecosystem, how much they contribute. It's incredible, and I would encourage anybody who's listening or watching to go and check it out in a little bit more detail.
And actually tomorrow we're going to have a roundtable discussion to delve deeper into NDC, because I see a lot of confusion within the Near community, and of course people outside of Near have no idea about NDC. So tomorrow we will be covering all the basics, and we will be getting questions from the audience. So audience can also participate, provide feedback, suggestions. Everyone is welcome. We want to decentralize, democratize, and make sure that we can build and lead NDC in the right direction.
100%. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, everything that the NDC does right now is perfect. It will never be at that point. And there's a lot of teething issues, right? No one's naive to that fact. Nobody's just saying, hey, this is how it's going to be for the next fucking 12 months, 5 years, 10 years, 100 years. It's going to evolve, and it should evolve, right? So I'm really excited to see where the NDC is in 12 months' time, 2 years' time, because it's going to be in a better place than it is now.
Absolutely. And the first use case, like we've been discussing a lot about our decentralization industry, and I was always like feeling, oh, we're living in such a bubble. People are just slapping like decentralization to like every project, and they're not decentralized. No one is decentralized yet. So I just want everyone to be honest and say we're not decentralized, but here how we can be.
Yeah. You need to have a path to decentralization, right? And I can't remember his name, but a representative from Andreessen Horowitz. I'm not going to comment on them. They're big VCs, big pockets. However you feel about them, take it to your own private little room. But he did make a very good point. He said the biggest advice he can give to crypto projects is don't decentralize too early, right? Like decentralize, absolutely, 100%. And for a lot of them, you almost have to, especially now with the rapidly changing regulatory landscape. But do it right. And don't just think that it's, the be-all and end-all, and as soon as you've decentralized, you're done.
Absolutely. And like a lot of ecosystems also not paying attention to education. And that's what I like about Near, because Near takes extra efforts to educate our not only builders, but the wider community, create a better space for them to share their knowledge with each other. Because again, if we're talking about decentralization, then it's a community that should educate each other. And I think one challenge that I see, and that's what you mentioned, right? You cannot decentralize too soon, too fast, because it's not going to work. You cannot just shift the entire decision making for people. Let's say startup proposals as an example. People who've been involved in the VC space for years, they understand this industry, how to evaluate proposals, and then we're just asking a random community members to do the same job. It's really challenging. You don't have access to information. You didn't see hundreds of startups or thousands of startups that VCs went through. So we're trying also to come up with a solution where it can be a combination where people can vote, but at the same time they can learn and get this experience from professionals who spend their entire life and career doing, let's say, startup evaluation.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we need the best of the best, right? We need talent from every corner of every industry involved in the NDC at some point. That was a brilliant point. That was a brilliant example. But let's take the marketing DAO, for example. We need people who are incredible marketers for the creatives DAO. We need people who have experience launching NFT projects that really focuses on the art and seeing them through to success. Otherwise, I mean, to be quite frank, we're just in a dark room with our eyes closed trying to find the doorknob, and we're never going to find it. Yeah,
we suggested a Shark Tank on the Near.
Yeah, I love it.
That's what we wanted to do because it's also you bring 5 judges who can evaluate proposal, provide feedback, and community can tune in live. They get an entertaining content, but at the 100%. Same time they learn from feedback and can vote.
I'm all in.
Near Shark Tank.
Near Shark Tank. We call it Dragon's Den in England. Which I think is kind of cooler, but yeah, same shit.
Yeah, and roasting startups.
Oh, I'm all in. You say the fucking word, we can do it. 100%.
David, you're in, so you're one of the jury members.
I'm ready whenever you want.
And let's touch on Near as a boss.
Let's do it.
So we have a lot of listeners who are not Near native, and for them it might be really confusing. What is a boss? What is Near as a boss? Can you start maybe with the basics? Why Near is a boss, and what's going to be happening next?
Yeah, absolutely. Just so for those who might not know, Near started out life as originally it was an AI company, but what's more apt for us to understand is that it started out life shortly after that as a layer 1 blockchain with super fast finality, super low transaction fees, an incredible capacity to scale through dynamic resharding, that novel sharding mechanism developed by Ilya and Alex, the co-founders of Near. But right now, things are changing. We're no longer considering ourselves as a just a layer one blockchain, right? We're not just in the just a layer one blockchain race. We've now developed and evolved into what we call the BOS, as you so kindly put it, which is the blockchain operating system. Essentially, it is an all-in-one end-to-end Web3 experience and tool for developers and users. So I'll give you some examples. For a developer, you can head to near.org right now, where it is just migrated to, and you can find your favorite component, or it will almost seem like a dApp in and of itself. You can hit fork, and you can start building on that right away. You get a next level, second to none developer experience and developer tooling. And what is incredibly exciting about it is that you can actually build decentralized front ends, right? So it's pretty easy for anyone to go onto Ethereum right now and say, hey, I'm going to fucking fork Uniswap and make it like fucking, I don't know, banana swap and lower the fees and do whatever. Like that's pretty easy to do. But what is not so easy to do is build decentralized front ends. So how about a world where you can actually fork somebody else's decentralized front end and play around with it and fine-tune it to where it hosts your dApp? And I don't just mean your dApp on Near, I mean your dApp on Ethereum, on Solana, on Aptos, on Sui, on whatever blockchain you want. It's all powered by the BOS, ultimately, from the user experience on the front end. And then for users, which I believe is incredibly important after developers, you can actually head to near.org, and it's almost like a gateway into the entire world of Web3 on Near. So I can go to near.org, I can set up my profile, I can be me, I can have these social tools that people are familiar with Twitter and things, all in a decentralized manner. But then I can also, in 2 clicks, head to the Metapool app within near.org, the blockchain operating system, stake my Near, and I don't have to do any bullshit like jumping through 50 different fucking bridges or going to this layer 2 or this layer 2. I saw a fucking advert for a layer 3 today. When is it going to stop? Right? You don't need to do any of that. You just head to near.org, and eventually, when it matures, it doesn't matter what chain, doesn't matter what app, they will all be there, and you'll be able to access the entire world of Web3 in less than 5 clicks.
And that's really exciting because for average person, even not for average person. So I've been involved in crypto from 2014, and I've been involved long enough to know all the applications, and I shouldn't be as worried about bridges. But even I do. I want to double check the address. I want to double check that everything is correct, because one mistake and it's all gone. So having a decentralized front end where you can quickly go to other apps, move, your money, your data, your information from one place to another, I think it's so essential, and it can actually bring new users into the ecosystem.
100%. It's not just for those who use Web3 now. It's going to be the landing platform for everybody who wants to in the future as well. And with fast auth, people can sign up like that in seconds. Meta transactions as well. They were just enabled on Near Protocol. If you don't know what that means, it means that essentially you can interact with a dApp, and the dApp can pay the transaction fees on your behalf. So you don't need to fucking call up Binance and say, hey, CZ, I need 0.5 ETH to pay for 2 transactions on Ethereum. The dApp can do it. And I think that alone is incredible as well.
Yeah, I was saying because many people calling CZ.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe it's just me. I have a direct line. So.
Yeah. And what is the next step for BOS?
So the next step was actually taken today. We transitioned from alpha.near.org, which was the BOS in its sort of early and primitive stage, to just near.org right now. So if you have ever been to near.org in the past, before today, which is what, the 26th of April, right? Before today, you'll have seen just a regular old website, as beautiful as it was. And now we have a nice little sign-in feature and create account feature in the top right, which of course allows you to connect your Near wallet. And then that takes you into the world of the blockchain operating system. That also includes some wonderful updates. It now has a moderation system on it. So it's not exactly the Wild West that it perhaps once was. And of course, FastAuth, like I mentioned, is there up and running now. And there's just so much more to look forward to. What I would say is keep an eye out for NEAR and their presence at events, because it tends to come hand in hand with some wonderful alpha.
And talking about presence at events, I actually was approached by CoinDesk Korea yesterday, and I don't know why, but they sent me a huge questionnaire about NEAR, and one of the questions is like, what NEAR is doing at Consensus? What is a goal? So let me ask you this question so I can reply to them.
Yeah, 100%. So Consensus is one of probably the 3 big events for us at the NEAR Foundation. We have ETH Denver, which was huge. If you were there, it was incredible. We had a wonderful time. We had a wonderful booth, and it was constantly packed. And I've just came from Consensus and exactly the same thing there as well. And then our 3rd big event is NEARCon. But in regards to what we are doing at Consensus, we're here to tell everybody that NEAR is the BOS, right? We're here to tell people what that means, how they can use it, how they can start developing on it right now, today, in the easiest way possible, and how users can start accessing all of the benefits of Web3 at their fingertips. But we do also have another wonderful announcement that was made about 3 or 4 hours ago, and that is of NEAR Horizon. So if you head to the NEAR booth, which I believe is 548, I could have fucked that up. You'll find it. You won't miss it. It's huge at Consensus. You'll see that we have a few separate departments, right? So we have the blockchain operating system for users, the blockchain operating system for developers, and we have the NEAR Horizon stand. If you head there and you're a project who wants to start building in the world of Web3, this is a brand new, innovative, novel solution to startups' problems, right? So it's essentially an accelerator, a lot of which is on-chain, and it connects founders and projects to others founders and projects where you can build partnerships, but also to investors as well, right? So you've got, if you head to near.org/horizon, you'll see a little example of it. So you can reach out to Pantera directly. You can view their portfolio, you can apply for investment. And that is something which I think the world of Web3 was lacking, particularly in the way that the foundation have pushed it.
I totally agree, and I actually was asked by several ecosystems. I'm not going to name them here for privacy reasons.
Just do it.
I'm going to miss the names. But I was asked what is the best accelerator, because they wanted to partner with accelerators. They didn't want to create their own one. And they asked a question, what is the best accelerator for Web3 projects? And I honestly couldn't answer because I was like, there's none. Some guys are doing a great job, let's say in the gaming, but on a really small scale. So it's not enough resources, not enough access to other VCs. And the same case for any other accelerator in the Web3. They're small, they don't have enough resources, they don't understand how to scale it. I would say also live in the crypto bubble. They don't understand that there is a whole world outside that has no idea about crypto. And I really like that NEAR is trying to decentralize our accelerator programs as well, because it's a big challenge for projects.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the way that the foundation went about setting up NEAR Horizon, it's a completely separate team now within the foundation, is that they actually identified the best partners that they can connect with in order to deliver that experience that an accelerator should, right? So there's not 6 incredibly smart, talented people in the NEAR Foundation doing everything. These are just connecting the dots and facilitating it and making sure that, keep it in, and making sure that startups can achieve success in the world of Web3.
No, absolutely. And how does it work with the mentors? Do you have any mentors in the program? How does this connection work? Because you mentioned VCs, but what about other resources?
Yeah, so if you head to near.org/horizon, you will see a beautiful example of the dashboard. You can actually start to try it right now. You set up a creator profile, fucking hell, put yourself together, a project profile, so a entrepreneur profile, for example. And as much as you can head out and see other people's profiles and explore them and explore the profiles of investors and VCs and service partners, they can do the same to you as well, right? So you can be sitting there saying, hey, I've just created the best fucking dApp in the world of Web3, and then knock, 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 Pantera's like, hey, I want to hear a little bit more about that. Like, come over to my place and we'll have
It's like a Tinder.
beer. Yeah, it's kind of like a Tinder. Yeah. I like that.
Can you buy super likes?
Not yet, but I'm about to steal that and make a pretty penny off the side of it.
It's like poor Pantera. It's just like every startup is like just sending them a super like.
Big time. Super like.
No, and David, I also want to learn a little bit more about your like everyday life within your ecosystem, because I know things are moving really fast, and as you said, it seems like Near Foundation is juggling and doing so many things at the same time. Like, what is your routine and everyday life within your ecosystem?
Just chill out, to be honest with you, Elena. Just do whatever the fuck I want. I just wake up 11:30, don't brush my teeth, drink a beer. Maybe I'll do like 20 minutes of work and then go to the pub. But if I have to do work in my role of head of social media, then I'm trying to spend a lot of time right now with the marketing team developing creative campaigns, because, and this is no knock to the Near Foundation, right? I love you guys, but there was a point, and we're about to come out of this cave, so to speak, that the Near Foundation's presence on social media, and certainly in the wider scheme of things in marketing, with the exception of events, is that we became like an announcement factory, right? So if you scroll down our Twitter, it's like fucking, all right, Near Foundation partners with this, Near does this, Near does that, Near fucking, whatever. And it's like, right, okay, that's not exciting, that's not engaging, that's actually really rather dull. So we are trying to do a little bit more creative focus campaigns and reach out not just to the degens in the audience, despite them being my favorite audience, but to the wider world of Web 2 and Web 3 as well. So keep your eyes out, because we are going to be doing a lot more exciting things.
What is like one of the things that you're going to focus on? Like maybe some like creative, crazy like campaign, or maybe some like weird joke ideas that you maybe not going to use?
Yeah, so I'll give you an example, right? Like, listen, the legal team at the Near Foundation are brilliant at their job. They're so good at it, right? They make sure that no one gets sued, no one gets fucking told off. But in my entire career, whilst I've been there, they said, David, you can't use memes. What? Why? Everyone fucking else does.
Everyone loves memes.
Everyone loves them, right? And then 2 or 3 weeks ago, they called me up. They said, David, I need to talk to you. I said, what? What do you want? And they said, you can use memes. Thank God, right? So you've probably seen, if you're following us on Twitter, us posting kind of weird as shit. We posted that Key and Peele sketch, that Key and Peele meme. It got like by far the most engagement we've ever gotten on a tweet ever. And that's because you're speaking the language of the internet, right? You're speaking to the people who are building Web3, right? This is how you talk to each other. You send your mates fucking shitty memes and you sit there and create them about how they're related to your life, and you laugh and you have fun. But that's something that we couldn't do for the longest time. And I think that the shackles of the legal team have been loosened somewhat. So in terms of what we have planned, we have nothing concrete. We will next week. There's plenty of ideas going around. I would like to see a fucking Near anime, right? Like, we can get really weird with it. Get some octopuses in there.
Is that special? Like special anime?
Yeah. Well, hey,
like hentai kind of.
Hey, whoa! Listen, if it drives the future of the open web, I will do fucking anything. If that's what people want, let me know. We can do it. But yeah, we yet to see, but it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I'm looking forward for hentai memes for sure.
Yeah, I think we all are, really, right? I mean, what's the point in living without them?
It's like, I hope one is coming today. And David, also, I'm pretty sure you have a really crazy, wild story from a crypto space. Can you pick the craziest one and share it with us?
You put me on the spot now.
Like, I just hope we're okay with the legal department right now.
Yeah, I know. I have to be careful what I say, actually. I'll probably get in a lot of trouble. The craziest story from the crypto space. Honestly, I'm at a loss for words, to be honest with you, Elena.
I'm pretty sure there's so many. There's
a lot of X-rated ones I'm definitely not allowed to say.
Will not tell the legal department.
No, but they'll find out. They'll find out. Don't worry, they'll track this down. Let me have a think, and then maybe we can meet up and do this again.
And yeah, we can do a follow-up and just focus on crazy stories. Just you can prepare like a list like of 20, and we just do a separate podcast
I'll
edition.
run them by the legal team and get them to omit the things.
Please don't.
Oh, yeah, all right.
I want them to be like raw, nice.
Raw, yeah.
We're not going to tell them.
Yeah, we're not going to tell them, but they'll find it, don't worry.
Thank you, David, so much for coming today.
Thank you. Elena, it's been nothing less than a pleasure. Remember, Nia is the boss. You can find out more on nia.org. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful life. Thank you very much.
And come back to Supermoon Station.
100%.